Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the September 16, 2025 meeting of the Orangetown Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti, and with us this evening,
Tom Tarenti.
Paul Kaplan.
Jenny Bowser, Recording Secretary.
Connie Stein, Court Reporter.
Kevin Cornell.
Jay McGuire.
Jack Demerjen, Zoning Administrator.
all right, thank you. First item on our agenda tonight is a review of the minutes from the September 2nd, 2025 meeting.
I had more of a question
Yeah,
that's not in, so the first topic we had discussed was the sewer referral for,
Yeah.
replacing that Bull Hill.
yep,
And I recall in the discussion that we were told not only were the repairs going to be a subject of the special assessment, but that the installation of the sewer would also.
yeah, I mean, I think customarily, when any municipality installs sewers, there's an assessment made against the.
Payable over a period of time.
Yeah, payable over a period of time, which I think they assured us that would happen in this case.
All right, it's just not in the
On
minutes.
Yeah.
On the last line, it says there was a letter sent to the property owners notifying them for the upcoming repairs and that it'd be charged over a period of time, special assessment.
But
what you're
that
talking about?
is relating to the, if it's in the paragraph whose subject is the repairs.
Would it help if we said repairs or replacement?
I'm waiting for Counselor to speak.
Didn't I speak before?
I thought you did.
Oh, you did?
Speak again.
Oh, okay, what's the question?
The question is that clearly, or in the paragraph where you said there was a letter sent to the property owners
Emergency
notifying
repairs.
of upcoming repairs, and they would be charged over a period of time, a special assessment, that relates to the repairs. I don't see where there's any mention of replacing the
mounting.
sewer.
Repairs.
There was a discussion of that, I do remember that, and that would be typical.
So, again, could we say repairs and/or
Well,
replacement?
we didn't see the letter, so we can't put it in that paragraph, right?
No, not if he's describing the letter.
Right.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But this it, okay. Okay, how
How about the
about,
last-
How about
Go ahead.
the last sentence of the,
Yes, first paragraph?
no.
Or the second
yeah,
paragraph?
It begins, Attorney Weaver explained.
Mm-hmm.
The last sentence, due to the condition of the sewer and ongoing town maintenance, the WPCA is considering extending their sewer line and building a brand-new sewer line to service these properties, for which they would be paid.
Subject to a
subject to
special assessment.
assessment.
yeah,
Does that work?
yes, for me it does.
All right, you got that, Jenny?
Okay,
It's the same language on the bottom of the.
okay, so put that up there, or just leave it there too?
No,
Wait.
he was describing the. He was describing the letter, so you leave that alone, but the same language could be put on the
Put up
bottom
there
of that,
too.
of that
Okay.
second paragraph, yeah.
Okay, sounds good,
Got it?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I had no comments on the minutes. Anybody else?
No?
Okay, then a motion to approve with the amendment noted.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, next item on our agenda is old business. Anyone have anything that they'd like to bring up under that topic?
We had a brief discussion after a very nice presentation by Barbara and Owen regarding the pending legislation. Jack, if we decided, if we had some language to make some changes, what's the timeline? It has to be, if we're going to change a zoning text, could you go run through the timeline for me, please?
Sure. Once we have finalized the language, or draft language that we want to send notice to the regional planners, adjacent municipality, anybody required, you're looking at a month. They have 30 days or 35 days to review that language before they give us a referral. It could be less. If they have their meeting within a week of us referring that language to them, we can act from there. But we give it 30 days, 35 days, because that's typically around what they take anyways.
Then it has to be scheduled for a public hearing.
Then it's gotta be scheduled for a public hearing, which adds another 2 weeks if we don't know, when that is gonna be able to appear. So we have a month for the notice to SCROG, and then an additional 2 weeks for the notice of public hearing.
So the under-over is, say, 2 to 3 months, after you have something to
I
discuss.
think we average about a month and a half to 2 months for.
Once you have
text amendment.
a final amendment to.
Right, okay,
Right.
so let's call it a 3-month process. So if we're gonna, if this special legislative session's 3 weeks from now, there's no reason not to wait
Right,
and then start.
and then figure it out.
Okay,
Otherwise, I feel like we're spinning. I feel like, given our luck, maybe it won't happen. Listen, who knows what's gonna happen? I'd rather wait for given the timeline that
well,
just
we
talked
wouldn't
about.
be doing, yeah, we wouldn't achieve anything in 3 weeks anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of a moving target, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, if there's another delay for any reason, and, we get another 6 months,
Yeah.
obviously, that's something we could address then.
right,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else under old business? How about under new business? Okay, item 4, report of the zoning enforcement officer.
We don't have anything for you tonight. Unless anybody has anything for me, I think we can get to our public hearings.
All right,
Hearing.
let's do that. Next item on our agenda, we're going to open a public hearing. Kevin, would you start us off by reading the legal notice? We gotta change this to say.
Yeah, I will make a note of that.
Notice is hereby given that on Tuesday, September 16th at 7 PM at the Orange Town Hall, 617 Orange Center Road, the Orange Town Planning and Zoning Commission will conduct a public hearing on the following. The Town Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing with representatives of BFJ Planning, the town's planning consultant for the Plan of Conservation and Development revision. The purpose of this public hearing is to seek final comments from the TPZC and feedback from the broader Orange community regarding the final draft of the new Plan of Conservation and Development. The draft Plan of Conservation and Development can be found at the town's website, and reference copies are available in the library and town clerk's office. Copy of this notice has been filed with the Orange Town Clerk, and additional information is on file with the Orange Zoning Department, dated in Orange, Connecticut, the 2nd day of September 2025.
All right, great, thank you. All right, let's start our meeting, our public hearing with, I'd like to introduce Frank Fish, who's headed up our consulting firm in putting the the new Plan of Conservation and Development together. Well, if you want to come to the,
Oh, it's podium.
yeah, come to the podium.
Just for members of the public, but also the commission all has a copy of, everybody who came in tonight just got a copy of this. All it is a sort of 4-page brief overview of what a plan of conservation and development is. The first page is who's doing it, namely yourselves. Under Connecticut state law, only a P&Z or a planning commission can adopt the plan. And then the really second page, it goes into public engagement that we went through for the plan. The public workshops on the second page are reviewed, up on the top of the page. Public survey, and then a lot of stakeholder interviews that we did. And then the plan outline is just given, those chapters 1 through 9 And the key is that this is, all of these, as the chapters were done and reviewed by you, they were then put online by Jack so that the whole process was to be iterative and public would have a chance to read chapter by chapter. And if they didn't, then they come to either of the public workshops, and particularly Workshop 2 went through the survey results and the chapters. I don't think, I mean, I know the commission has seen our timeline at about every meeting, but there is a timeline here which basically goes through the one-year process that we developed and how the public outreach was done, the survey was done, and then the chapters, draft plan and final plan. So there is on the back page just a 4-point sort of Town of Orange strives to. That's sort of a vision statement that's in the plan. We've condensed it here a little bit, but it's in the plan as the vision for the town. So with that, this is the formal public hearing, and I think after the hearing, the commission's free to close the hearing, and then we would be in a position to produce, discuss with you any changes, or, and then we can produce final copies of the report for you. So that's the overall
Okay.
Goal.
Has everybody on the commission gotten a chance to look over this last draft? I had a few things, that are very minor, I think, relatively, that I'd like to just go over and maybe take all our comments at the same time. Do you want to respond, or, I don't mean respond, I mean,
Yeah, I would, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I'd just suggest that you hear the public first.
Okay.
If you're okay on that. Hear the public first, close the hearing,
yeah,
and then we might have an opportunity with you to just go over all comments received, including comments from the public tonight. And you may want to have us make some changes. For instance, there might be a typo, or there might be,
Yeah.
there's two comments from the Regional Planning Agency. They're very minor. We just need to know how to address those, so.
all right. Well, I'm happy to take the public's comment first. But I'd like to have a discussion amongst ourselves and raise the questions we have
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
before we close the
absolutely.
public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. So then, is there anyone in the public this evening who wishes to speak regarding the plan of conservation and development? Yes, sir. Yeah, please come to the podium and
Thank you very much, Mr. Sorrento.
introduce yourself.
My name is Dr. Lawrence Messina, Orange Land Trust President. Thank you very much for this evening's meeting. I think BFJ has done an amazing job getting information from the public, also conversing with town officials. And as president of the Land Trust, we have a lot of confidence in the direction that we're going in. The state is looking to at least keep around 20 to 21% open space. So the town of Orange is very focused on doing that and preserving, of course, one of my favorite farms, the Fieldview Farm. I think I had told the group that the farm has been in existence since 1639, so hopefully it'll remain in the town. But I want to thank you all for all that you've done, and we'll continue moving on into the right direction for the future of the town of Orange. Thank you
Great,
very
thank
much.
you very much.
Thank
Could you
you.
spell your last name for us,
Yes,
please?
MESSINA.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, very good. So, how should we handle this? I mean, the first comment I have is on page 20. Do we have comments specifically that anybody wants to raise, or should we go through the?
I also have comments, so
All right,
however we want to do it.
I guess, all right, let's start on page 20 then. Three point 4.2. The second phrase there, examine potential, this is talking about land use regulations, and land use regulations need regular review and updates to ensure consistency. In this 3.4.2, talks about examining potential regulatory changes to address common non-conforming uses. I wasn't quite sure what that,
I think what this was targeting, less, I think uses may be the wrong word there, less non-conforming buildings. But I seem to remember through this process, we were discussing how a lot of residential properties in Orange are severely undersized to today's code. So no matter what these homeowners come in to do, whether it's a minor addition or a small garage or shed for storage, they end up having to get variances because they are so severely, limited by their property and meeting today's code that pretty much whenever somebody comes in to me with a certain property, I say, well, expect you're gonna need a variance because there's basically no way for us to make this improvement to meet the code.
okay.
So I think that's what that was targeting. If that, maybe examine potential regulatory changes to address common non-conforming situations may be a better word. I'm not exactly targeting uses there.
Yeah.
Parcels?
The intent wasn't to address uses, but.
No.
But the.
Parcels,
Yeah,
variances.
parcels could be a good way to put it as well.
You mean non-conforming buildings?
My idea was more towards buildings, but, parcels could work as well, because, it's really specific pieces that.
So,
pieces
so
of land.
Jack, if I was to try to rephrase it, when the original housing stock of Orange was built on half-acre lots, and the code was rewritten to an acre and a half, that some of the bulk area regulations applied to existing parcels make them, they're already non-conforming.
Right, so you'd be
Exactly.
enlarging a non-conformity
Yes.
if you allowed somebody to put a deck on, or,
Right,
Correct, yep.
which would be actually a common amenity, but for the fact of when the house was built
right.
Exactly.
and the conditions that occurred at that time. So what do we,
So we keep the language except that last word.
Yeah, do you want to chime in on this?
Oh, you
No,
really
we
need.
just- we gotta-
to-
sorry.
Frank, maybe that's a better way to,
Maybe we should,
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
could.
join us at the table.
Now you wanna sit?
Just do your best to have a microphone in front of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that right now.
Come on, why don't you sit over here also?
We're just gonna share, that's
No.
all. And just keep your voices up, please. Thank you.
I just wasn't clear on, what we're.
I
what
think
we're
how
going
Kevin
for
put
there.
it is exactly how I would like this to read. If we're not comfortable with the current language, yeah, I think we can make small
Does
adjustments
that
there.
make sense to you, Frank? Susan?
yeah, because that is the issue.
Yeah.
At first, I thought you were looking at changing the word uses to just building.
he needs you to turn on the microphone.
Oh, make sure the green button is on.
Down here.
Down here.
You got it?
Okay. I thought where you're going with that is change the word, the last word in 3.4.2 is uses, change it to buildings, but
That's what I understand.
I think parcels may work better.
parcels would
Yeah.
work better. Okay.
As long as we're on page 20, do you mind?
No, that's,
Okay. So, this occurs multiple places, but it starts on page 20. So I want to throw it out to the group. This exercise has, some very, positive aspects to it in that, one, it's an obligation of us to the state, but it's also a good document for ourselves to check with the rest of Orange and make sure we're all headed in, rowing the boat in the same direction. But I also look at this to try and avoid smart lawyers using language to beat us about the head and shoulders on special permits for things that are in compliance with the plan of conservation and development. So I would like everyone to consider, one, the word mixed-use development shows up in multiple locations, okay? And it's only defined in one thing as a combination of commercial,
Residential.
residential and retail, okay? So common construction would mean if it's only defined in one place, that every time it shows up, that's what it means. And what I'd like the group to be thinking about is, okay, number one, do we want to have that, do we really want to encourage that? First, do we want the definition of mixed use to include residential? Yes, no. If it doesn't include it, and it's just mixes of different things in the same uses in the same building, but not residential, some of my concerns go away.
Well, wouldn't that be the common definition of mixed use?
It is, that's why I'm bringing it to everyone's attention, that, so now the question becomes, okay, if you're okay with the concept of mixed use, are you only comfortable with it in our commercial zone? Are you comfortable with it in our industrial zone? Are you comfortable with it in our residential zone? Because it shows up in multiple places, in multiple different contexts, okay? So the discussion I wanted to have is, number one, do we all agree that mixed use includes residential? And if it does, we should look carefully in here where it shows up to make sure that that's in conformance.
So your discussion starts with 3.1.2?
That is the first place of where mixed use comes up, yes.
So the verbiage afterward, which says where appropriate, really doesn't respond to your concerns.
My concern, so if we decide collectively that it's appropriate on Route 1, leaving it in as 3.3.1 would be appropriate,
Right.
okay? But then having it at 3.1.2 only begs the question of, well, they have it somewhere else just after they're talking about single-family neighborhoods. So they must mean it's okay up there too.
Where do you see that?
3.1.2
3.1.2.
comes in under
Yeah.
existing community character.
Got it.
The lead of which is existing single-family neighborhoods. Then it immediately goes into mixed use,
Yeah,
okay?
right.
So, to me, I would leave it out, again, assuming mixed use is okay on Route 1, leave it there, but the repetition of it in other places where it could be interpreted to want to have that in residential neighborhoods, which I personally would not be interested in encouraging.
Right.
You know, it'd have to be something pretty special to encourage for me. So I would say first, do we agree with the definition? It includes residential. And
Well,
that
just the
basic-
common parlance of
That
the
is common
phrase.
parlance, so that's what we're going with.
I
So
would
every
say
time
so.
we see it,
Yeah,
May have to define a little further.
well, no, I'm saying I would take it out of 3.1.2. And if we decide it is appropriate on Route 1, I'd leave it in 3.3.1. But then it comes up again, you know, I don't want to,
Yeah. Can I
Jump
ma-
around, but-
I don't mean to interrupt, but.
Yes, boss.
Can I ask, I know you raised this before.
Mm-hmm.
You discussed it at some length, and we changed this wording for you before, and we
Oh,
added,
okay.
under 3.1.2, we added comma,
Where
where
appropriate,
appropriate.
that's- yeah.
That's why we put that in there.
okay, well, and
Oh,
again,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
going over, so
Yeah,
I'm looking at
yeah,
the
right.
final draft before it's adopted.
Right.
and we're all having an overall discussion on a topic that occurs in more than one location. So I'm starting with definitions, going through each location, and people may decide, I might think it's needlessly repetitive, and 4 people might say, you're an idiot, leave it in, okay? And that's perfectly fine, but I want to just kind of hit all the areas,
But the only way to answer the question is to look at
each line, yeah.
each time it's used.
Each time mixed use comes up,
I have no problem with the way it's written here.
okay? And
Because of
not-
the addition of the words where
words,
where
Okay.
appropriate. I mean,
And everybody else comfortable? Comfortable?
I am.
Okay.
It's also encouraged, to say. If it's encouraged, we're appropriate, right?
Well, if it works for everybody else,
Let me just explore, because I don't remember exactly what we had discussed, but on the 3.1.2, okay? This is for maintaining existing community character. So do you see that as only residential?
I think that when you bracket
when you say, what do you mean residential? You mean the
Well-
residential zone?
the residential
Right.
zone.
And I'm-
When I see 2 bracketed by 1 and 3, which talk about character as a rural hamlet and existing single-family neighborhoods, I look at that totality of that as talking about the major uses in the town of Orange, which is single-family homes.
Can I try to
Yes.
cut through this? Because we spent an hour on this at the last meeting. I don't mean to sound impatient, but could we say, for instance, I think this was meant to start with preserve single-family neighborhoods. That was a main goal.
Yes.
But in addition to that goal of preserve single-family neighborhoods, then encourage mixed-use development where it's appropriate. Now, maybe what we could say is encourage mixed-use development where it's appropriate, such as in commercial areas.
Well,
Or be more specific of it. What I'm trying to say is, I don't see I don't see a conflict. There's a
And-
major goal here to preserve single-family residential neighborhoods. That's
And-
what we're saying.
and-
And then you go to mixed use like along Route 1. We want mixed use on Route 1, you have it there.
right,
So I don't,
so
so-
here's the thing, and maybe it's just the way I approach the construct of the entire document, okay? Is I think that people should have the discussion, count noses, and keep the language and move on. But I think I want them all to be conscious decisions, okay? And if 4 people are comfortable and I'm less comfortable, we keep the language and it's great, we move on. I'm not like trying to make this a personal stamp thing. I'm just wanna,
So you're gonna have to point out.
yes, that's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, I didn't,
So,
I didn't focus on that. I mean, that didn't strike me as an issue as I read through the entire
well, so,
thing. But
let's take as an example.
I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying.
Yeah, let's take as an example, the situation I see in the future is the same thing that came up during the Firelight thing, all right? You get a good attorney who knows how to hit every point on a special permit, sort of application, and use the POCD as a tool, I don't want to say against you, in her client's favor. Let's use it that.
But
That's what we want.
we didn't get burned on the Firelight. I mean, we're very happy with what we approved there, right? I mean, maybe not everybody's very happy.
I don't think we approved it, I think we went to court and we were told to approve it.
Firelight?
Was that, I know, I think that was a straightaway approval.
There was, before me, I think there was a denial
Yeah.
the first time around, and then a settlement was reached by the applicant and the board on a density, unit per
Yeah, how
acre
many
number
units?
that we were comfortable with.
Right.
Right.
Well,
But we weren't adverse to the idea of a mixed-use
Not on.
development there.
So, again, this might be just something that, so I see things like words that lead towards encouraging an expansion of the sewer district, okay? Outside of its current boundaries, which means into the residential zone, okay? In the POCD as a future issue for us, if we have no interest in extending that, okay?
That's a
That-
different issue, right?
It's a different issue, but
So-
it similarly
Yeah.
comes up later. But I'm just trying to tie it,
But-
because it all
yeah.
comes into having control over where multifamily housing goes in the town. Okay, and so encouraging it along Route 1, because it makes sense from transportation network, bus routes, vacancy because commercial's evolving, retail is evolving, and, just plain makes sense. All right, but I'm just looking forward to when people try to do things outside that, what tools are they gonna find to support their case in this document? So I just wanted to go through them, and if we're comfortable, move on. We don't have to spend 15 minutes. If you guys are all comfortable,
I'm comfortable with what we have in 3.1.
Bingo, let's move to the-
So-
Everybody else comfortable with that?
No, so I was, right?
Yeah.
And then I started looking at it and I said, well, if I took it out, what do I lose? So if the risk is what Kevin is saying, there's possible risk there. So I said, well, what if we took it out? What do we
He's
lose?
talking about 3.1.2.
Yeah, what if we took it out? What do we lose? Because 4 lines down, it says promote mixed-use development on Route 1, which whenever you talk about, I don't mean to point, Paul, whenever you talk about it, you say on Route 1, right?
Yeah.
So it's on Route 1 down below, so why do I need it in 3.1.2? Just take it out. It's not adding anything at that point. And if there's risk on the other side of it, then don't leave it in, right? Take it out. At first, I was like, oh, come on, it says where appropriate, it's very weak, but that's another part of it is, it's not doing anything. And if there's any kind of risk associated with it, then take it out, because it's not gaining us anything. That's how I'm looking at it now, to get to the odd side of this.
But, yeah, no, and again, we can go through the places it shows up real quick and then decide on them individually or one at a time, whatever you want to do. I don't,
Well, let's go through the document. I understand yours and Jay's point. I mean, you hit it home pretty good.
right,
Well, but Firelight not on Route 1,
No.
so I mean,
but it's in the sewer zone.
Where appropriate.
Right. I'm comfortable with the language.
I mean,
Right.
But
And that's,
I understand, but your point is there, and it can be tortured, and we've all seen, God knows, we lived through the, what was that, the TOD, and how that was tortured. I think that preceded you, but I watched it happen.
all right, so we got 2-2 and Tom can say, keep it in. Or,
I think we
Chuck.
should, yeah, fine.
I guess where I come down on it, and maybe I'm missing the boat, but if you tried to do that in a residence district, just by virtue of the requirements, you wouldn't be able to. Or am I wrong?
It depends. The way the state is moving, we're getting less and less discretion over where we allow these sorts of development. So within the next 10 years, we may get pushed to say, hey, there's, your local requirements are, we're no longer listening to them, you just have to comply to the state. So then we only have this to turn back on, and we say, all right, well, is this appropriate here? We could say no, we could say yes. But I don't like relying on local regulations, because we're quickly learning that those are getting phased out by the state.
But if that legislation passes, that 3.1.2 is moot.
Correct.
yeah, we
Well,
can
how
only
about-
control what we control.
All right. I mean, it's a very simple statement, and it's very subject to interpretation. And it doesn't take away a lot of the commission's discretion.
Oh, with the language of where appropriate, I think.
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's where.
how about, I mean, instead of saying, I mean, what's our feeling on that? Do we feel that we want to encourage that type of development? Let's say a firelight, that's a mixed use. Are we interested in encouraging that type of development in the town of Orange where appropriate? If not, maybe encourage is the wrong word, we should say consider. Or, I don't know.
Yeah,
But I don't care how any lawyer can look through this plan of conservation and find things that support his position.
absolutely. Just
And we
don't
could
make it
find
easy
things
for
if,
'em.
we yeah, yeah.
That's all
Well,
I'm saying.
I'm not, you know.
But, and again, at the end of the day, if three people say keep it in, let's just move on. I'm not like, it's not like, I don't think like this is, an imminent risk. I'm just want it to be a conscious decision to leave in or take out.
I-
That's all.
Yeah, I mean, well,
So you got
it's
two
it's there,
leave-ins,
I
two
read it.
takeouts. Tommy,
No,
just.
I mean, the site that comes to mind is Orange Center.
Yeah, you're
Orange
talking,
Center
that's the only other
Farms.
one that's possible, I
Didn't we
think,
talk
right?
about mixed use, potentially mixed
Yeah.
use there?
Yeah, so leave it in.
So-
Look,
Yeah.
If you, so.
I think where appropriate, and that's actually fits in exactly to the
Alright.
phrase.
All right,
Not
so the
only
next
that, but
time,
but it's mentioned, the idea of a project in that location is mentioned in other places in the plan of conservation and development, so.
Right,
It's
okay,
obviously something we'd be interested in considering,
Alright.
even encouraging.
right.
All right,
Okay, so can we move on then to those
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
places?
I think we're there.
So
All
I
right.
think
So.
we're resolved on
page-
that.
So page 43, the next time we talk about.
can I go to page,
Well, can we finish the mixed use topic? Or do
well,
you
then I'm
want
gonna
to do
get out
something
of,
else?
I wanted to take it in chronological, I mean. in
Okay, never
order of
mind,
the
then keep
pages
going.
here.
We'll just, I just thought if it shows up
Let me.
5 more times,
All right. Well, you have it noted, so as we go through, you'll.
that's no problem, go
All
ahead.
On page 24, the first line, second sentence, the town of Orange could encourage conservation subdivisions as a strategy to maintain existing housing density while preserving open space. I guess I just wanted to make sure that that's something we're mindful of. I mean, or, you know, it's deliberate on our part.
All right. Gee, you sound familiar. Sorry.
I get it.
I actually personally, the open space subdivision concepts, just from a planning aspect.
Certainly where the state's going.
Well, I think it's more that, why not aggregate some, in my cul-de-sac, if some of the land had been aggregated in a more type of communal, like you can walk your dog in their way, and the lots were smaller, I'd have less to mow. Is kind of how I look at it, but,
All right, so the answer is, we're comfortable with that. And it says could encourage.
yeah. Well, I'm comfortable.
It's vague enough for me, I don't,
All right.
I'm not, don't care that much about that. What do you got next, Ross?
Again, this may, opportunities for future economic growth on page 40. Again, I just pointed out as a paragraph that I want to make sure we're mindful of it, because
Which one are you talking about?
opportunities for future economic
Economic
growth.
growth, bottom of page
Oh, I
40.
got you.
And that talks about the Orange Shopping
It's the
Center.
Hamlet here, yeah. It's,
And again, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I
just-
think we
just-
made it less, it was a little personal, the first draft.
Right, everybody comfortable with that language?
Yes.
All right. Kevin, you would stop me along the way if you.
Yeah, I have, next thing I have is on 43, so.
All right, go ahead.
All right, 5.1.5 is where we define mixed use as integrating commercial, residential, and office. And I just wanted to make sure, sorry, preceding page. I'm cheap, I didn't print all the pages. So, since this is talking about strengthening the business base, that usually, and underutil,
We have an extra copy of the plan here. if you want.
thanks. You turn off all the sound, it still makes noise. Sorry, just chuck it someplace. No, it's not your fault, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, it's very rude. The world isn't your phone booth. So, we've already decided that we're gonna go with the common usage of mixed use being, having those three components. And this is all talking about in business,
Yeah.
which is down the Route 1 corridor and/or adjoining areas. So I would leave it the way it is.
I have no problem with that. All right. My next observation was just a typo on page 65. The last sentence in the first paragraph, continuing to preserve these agricultural features is essential. I think you're missing the word to support the rural character of the community.
Got it.
You got it?
Yep, we'll make that.
Kevin, do you have anything else at this, up to 66?
Nope. My next thing's in the 80s.
All right, I got page 82.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, any parcels proposed for development outside of the agreed-upon sewer service areas would necessitate an amendment to the intermunicipal agreements. These amendments must be approved by the Orange Board of Selectmen.
I circled the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
It is true,
it's a true statement.
yes.
And for that reason, I don't think I have any problem with it.
Well, so again,
I mean, it's an observation. It's,
it is an observation, and it's not saying whether any parcels outside the sewer service areas should be considered, but what does that true statement add to our document?
Well, it's just what we usually do, not always, but we try to give the lay reader just existing conditions, some knowledge of, what exists, what is the case. And that's what this was trying to do, I think, just say what, as accurately as we could, what exists now.
You're back to what happens if someone tries to torture the interpretation.
Well, it's the introduction to the sewer, the sewer issue in multiple places. So it's introductory to some other comments about the sewers, where if you're trying to build a case, so to speak, that I want to sell a piece of my golf course and we just need to run a lateral up XYZ road to turn this into, some apartment complex.
Right.
And it's like, you start building it here where you say, well, I've already talked to West Haven and they have the capacity. And then you say, you're contemplating changing, extending these things. I don't know. It can stay or go, but it's introductory to some other places where I think it's more important.
All right, then I guess we'll leave that at 82.
All five okay?
It's a statement of fact. I understand they may start there, but it is what it is.
I have just one other thing, and that is on, oh, no, I just marked that, so I knew where it was. No, I have nothing else. I'm
All right,
satisfied
so,
with my review.
so page 89, under multifamily residential. So this comes up in the context of future land use plans. Okay, so, but for the post road, 830Gs or affordable housing component things, I have no interest in multifamily residential, personally. Okay? You know, because unless there's something in it for the town, like say Smith Farms, which is terrific.
Yep.
So at the, under multifamily, you know, you're, again, to, geez, I'm sorry, under Frank's, sorry, Frank. Frank's statement that what they're trying to do is give the lay reader background on how things occur. You could look at the last statement, since the town does not have its own sewer system, any future medium or high-density development would necessitate an amendment to the agreements. All right? So you could look at that as just a statement of fact, or I don't have any interest in extending the agreements. And this is,
So
you
if
know,
we
kind
lost
of our
that line,
document.
if we lost, losing that line that line doesn't add anything. It is background information at best, which has already been introduced in the last paragraph we looked at.
Well, it's suggesting that if you're proposing any high-density use.
You're gonna need an intermunicipal
But
agreement.
that's
It's-
only
it's gotta
true
be-
if it
it's-
occurs outside the current zone.
No,
Because inside the current zone, as shown on the map, there's capacity.
Yeah,
And
right.
it doesn't need to be done. So this only applies to properties that are outside of that zone. So if we're not considering extending the zone, why do we want it, is all I'm asking.
well, then, could you conceive of a waste treatment in a multifamily project without sewers?
So
I mean, it could work, right?
the last time, well, it's done all the time in other states.
Right. So-
Specifically Long Island, like we discussed last time. But the last time I checked, Connecticut DEP did not allow it. Now, that information's about 5 years old, but
I would think that that language would be valuable in a situation where you want to direct a developer to the sewer system for waste treatment as opposed to a oversized, I don't know how you would.
it's called a denitrification plant. Basically, it's a packaged sewage treatment
Yeah,
plant.
yeah.
And they they pick up the solids like they go to your septic tank.
Yeah, so I mean, so what it says, since the town does not have its own sewer system, any future medium or high-density development would necessitate an amendment to the intermunicipal, that's true, that's a true, again.
It's not true inside the current.
I know,
zone.
but all it's saying is that to the extent you want to, go, yeah. Well, I mean, we could get to capacity there.
the capacity currently exists with, now, if you add a person, do you have to amend the whole agreement? I do not know, but I did not get that from our primer last meeting. But to me, you only have to change the amendment if it's outside the current zone of the agreement.
How would you, what
So
what are you
Kevin,
proposing?
what's your concern?
So my concern is, since we're only looking for this type of development inside the current sewer agreement zone, which is the commercial zone along Route 1, and maybe like
And the
some
industrial,
towards the industrial,
Yeah,
that since, and if that occurs, there doesn't have to be a change to the intermunicipal agreement, as long as you're under the capacity, and we're way under the capacity of the agreements, from what I understand, then this language only becomes true outside
I
of the
see your
current
point.
sewer agreement zone.
All right. So you don't want the suggestion out there that you,
We're thinking about expanding that zone.
of expanding the sewer zone, or?
Expanding the intermunicipal agreement applies to a very specific area shown on one of these maps.
Yeah, we show where it is,
yeah.
probably
On
under
page
utilities.
83.
Yeah,
On
Yeah.
page 83.
yeah.
Right? So, if we're trying to encourage the multifamily to happen in that zone, and it's covered by the agreement, this sentence to me suggests that we're considering allowing it to come north into the residential zone.
do we have any?
I don't see that written here.
Okay, well, so,
But- Yeah.
what it says, okay, is any future medium or high-density development will necessitate an amendment to the municipal agreement, correct?
Yes,
The municipal agreement only applies to this shaded area on page 83. If you have to amend it, it means it's happening outside of that area.
It suggests that.
Suggested that we would consider
right.
a
Okay, I
high-density
see what you're
project
saying.
outside of that area.
Right.
Right.
So,
And I don't think we do. Sorry to drag this on.
No, that's what it is.
did we change this language before? What was here before?
I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't believe it was changed. I think that since we already introduced it in the previous chapter, I don't see an issue with just removing that last line or,
I mean, do we want a more affirmative statement?
yeah, or saying something like, it would necessitate an assessment of possible capacity or something along those lines, rather than saying it would necessarily necessitate an amendment.
Yeah, you could do that.
So instead it would say, since the town does not have its own sewer system, any future medium or high-density development would necessitate an assessment of capacity limits or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that is the intent.
Yeah.
There's a little,
All right,
you will
let's-
come up with better language.
Yeah.
But that was very good on the fly, because that contains it within the zone.
Yes.
All right, good.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Yeah, sorry, page 91. And again, this is, the implementation matrix appears to be just an echo from page 20.
Yeah, 3.1.2.
Okay, so the implementation matrix,
It's
It's
just a
just-
concentration of all of the
okay.
recommendations.
So if we
Yeah.
change it
Yeah.
one place, you'll change it the other.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah.
Never mind.
All right,
That's why it looked like it was coming in a lot.
all right.
And so, yep, okay, yep.
All right, do the commissioners have any additional comments on the plan?
I have one,
Go ahead, Tom.
right inside the front cover, Frank. Just change the commission.
That's an important, inside the front
Judy's
cover.
still in there.
Yeah,
Add
that's
in
right.
Jay McGuire, yes.
Yeah, Jay.
You said we wanted to keep Judy in there, though?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she worked on it.
And
Yeah.
then we would add Jay's name.
Yep.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
Judy's name.
and,
Sorry, Judy.
All right, are there letters or emails that we have
Yeah.
from the community?
Oh,
There are, Kevin, do you want to go over, or do you want us to? We've got
I
a-
think
we've
if
got a
you
list of
guys
them.
want, the only input we got was forwarded to me from the Board of Selectmen, but it was from one selectman who, I think it was more just for discussion within their board, but it was passed along to me anyways, so we may want to just discuss it while we're here. So Suzanne can go through that.
Good.
All right,
And then the one other item was just the referral from Scrog.
Scrog.
And they had
Yeah.
just one comment that we might want to consider, or one or two.
all right, let's do that.
What do you want to do first? Want to do
We'll do the email first.
the email first?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull that up. Okay, so this was received from Mitchell Goldblatt and sent on June 28th. So there's a list of observations here, one of which was regarding the photos. So just so you know, once we get all the final feedback, we're then going to put this into a different format that, once all the changes are made, that's a little bit more professional, a little more polished looking. So we will add additional photos, but if any of you have photos that we could include, please send them to us, any photos that represent, Orange's natural beauty or anything else that could add something to the plan. That would be appreciated. That was a comment from the Board of Selectmen that we received, was additional photos, if anyone had them.
All right.
Yeah, sometimes in a town, there's, you may know someone, we asked Jack. but
I don't
Jack
know
doesn't
any
have
town
it, yeah.
photographers,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
No,
no.
there's nothing, so we would do our best if, I don't know if you want to ask the first selectman.
I think
or-
I directed Suzanne to
To
Ann
the-
Denny,
to-
she's,
Okay, I'll
and
reach out to Ann.
she would have
And- okay.
all the boards that, may have photos or, she would be the one to
Okay,
point you in the right
perfect.
direction.
All right.
Yeah, we can reach out.
Don't they have a photo thing at the town fair coming up? You go.
That too,
Snag a few
yeah,
for us.
Yeah.
The next one was, there was a typo, there's a reference to Derby Hill Road, should be corrected to Derby Milford Road on page 46. So, under minor arterial, after Grassy Hill Road, it says Derby Hill Road, so that just should say Derby Milford. It's just a typo. Okay, then, on page 58, recommendation 6.5.2 refers to the planned sidewalks on Post Road. And the comment says, "I'm not sure that this is still part of the plan, but even if it is, I do not feel that sidewalks along the Post Road will be utilized and will be a burden to property owners. Also, while I do not want to see the walking paths on Orange Center Road extended, I do not think we want actual sidewalks and question the feasibility and practicality of extending either all the way from Town Hall to Route 1 as proposed in recommendation 6.5.3.
Well, Route 1, the state does have, plans right now on the sidewalks, but the POCD, he's correct, do support those plans. By the way, I should say on all these comments, like the comments we get to on Scrog, they're all in your purview. They're up to you whether you agree with them or not. So I think it's good to go through all of these comments to make sure you agree. If you don't agree, we would not put it in the plan, or we would not change it. I will say that the one thing in the plan that he is also talking about is a sidewalk from, I believe, from
The Post Road.
Route 1, the Post Road, up to here,
Yeah.
to the hamlet. We did discuss that in the transportation table at the second workshop. We heard agreement on that, but that's not a new recommendation of us.
Right.
That's in your existing
It
plan.
was, it
That
has
was-
been discussed, at least the two times that we went through the, that I've gone through the Plan of Conservation Development. It's been a goal, albeit a slow-moving one.
So I have no problem with it
Right.
continuing to be a goal.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, great. The next comment is on page 63. We refer to these as private golf courses, but there actually is a mix of public and private golf courses in here. So they would like to include Grassy Hill and Orange Hills as public golf courses, and then add Racebrook Country Club included amongst the list of private golf courses. So I presume we would just change the heading of this to golf courses and then differentiate between the private and public ones, if that sounds
Or
all
even
right.
just call them golf courses throughout.
Okay, yeah, we don't need to say private golf
Right.
courses, yeah.
Yeah.
Delete
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Or public.
Yeah, private or public, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that one's taken care of. The next one is something we've talked about a little bit on page 84, recommendation 8.4.1 says that we should maintain the capacity of Orange's public water and sewer systems. I would disagree with that first part and believe we should be exploring ways to extend Orange's public water.
As a tax-paying citizen who has no access to those things, I would love to be able to expand the water system. I'm just saying.
So you guys reached out to the various municipal departments. Did the water department mention that as a goal?
I don't know, in our conversation with
Yeah, you
DPW,
know,
it doesn't stand
we had
out
a
to me, but we can
conversation
check.
with them. We can check our minutes to that. I don't recall them saying that, but we'd need to just check it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to check we have a meeting record for all of these. So Jack, I don't know if you
Yeah.
know either.
I mean, isn't that more of a, not a,
Like an orange issue.
It's-
no, not a zoning issue, it doesn't say. The public, that part of the infrastructure,
Outside of our purview,
well, I mean, implementing it certainly is.
but
I would find, I would be, hard to find, I think, anybody against the expansion of public water. I know sewers is a different
and
story.
they're
Yeah.
lumped together, which.
Yeah,
So
which maybe
perhaps we
that's,
should break
maybe,
them up
Yeah.
into
yeah,
two.
maybe that's the problem here.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I don't
I
see any
mean,
reason with
Orange,
bringing public
in
water.
Toto, there's about 2/3, I believe, of Orange, which is on public water, but we all have septic.
Correct.
To the extent, well, to the
Correct,
extent
yep.
that we're north of.
So you want to say something like, encourage the capacity or
The
consider augmenting the capacity of Orange's public water, and then period, maintain.
Consider expanding.
Maintain the capacity of the sewer system.
Yeah, the comment was explore ways to extend Orange's public water as the first one, and then the second one could be, stay the same as maintain the capacity of Orange's sewer systems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's fine, too.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Point 4.1.
I kinda like the idea of Paul not having water, though.
You gotta remember this prisoner of Second Avenue? Where's my water? I got no water.
Just say,
Okay, the last comment is just, there is an issue with the seal that we used was the wrong seal on page 1 of the appendix, so we'll fix that. But the rest of, the correct seal is used throughout the rest of the plan, so
What's the
we
right
can fix
seal?
it, yeah.
The right seal is the one on the cover.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the right seal.
Yeah, it's on the
And-
first page of appendix
First page of the
A.
appendix, we got it wrong.
It's this, yeah,
The
it's on
no
the cover page.
ribbons, or the no,
No ribbons are
Yes.
supposed to be in there.
All right,
Yes, that's, good catch, I guess.
all right, very good.
The last item is just from the SCROG, their comments, and like Frank said, these are suggestions or recommendations, but you can evaluate whether or not you'd like to incorporate them. So the first one was sent in, so they sent a document that had the referral. They also sent over something that was in the body of the email. and I can just read it to you so you have the exact wording. So they said, attached is the resolution from last week's RPC meeting. One thing to note that wasn't in the resolution but was brought to our attention was the use of the word character when referring to community character. And then they quote Public Act 2129, that essentially says, when you mention community character, or when you mention the word character, you should change the language to physical site characteristics. And so the places that we mention that are in 3.1.3. We say,
Character.
yeah, so the context. in
On page
3.1
20.
Yeah, we say, maintain Orange's character as a rural hamlet. So if you went with this, it would just be, physical characteristics as a rural hamlet.
I don't care what the word police like.
Does that
Well,
make
I
sense?
think that the language they're suggesting is a little more meaningful.
Yeah, it's more specific, and then it also is supposed to apply more to land use is why they say
Right,
that.
Yeah,
So if that's all right with you, we can change that.
it's all right with
It's
me.
up to you all.
It's all right with me.
Okay, so we'll change character to physical characteristics. Okay, then the one other comment, they said everything looks good, that it's a realistic look at the future. The one comment that I think Frank had some thoughts on is, they say, for any additions to the plan, staff recommends that the town look to redesignate the previously removed TOD district around the Route 1 corridor and consider utilizing the Connecticut Municipal Development Authority for infrastructure and housing improvements around the key commercial and development corridor.
By the way, just a little background on this. There's a new agency out there. It was just formed last year.
They
And
need
it's-
something to do.
You need something. It's called the, let's see if I get this right, the Connecticut Municipal Development Agency, CMDA,
I
right?
think they were referring to it as MRDA, right?
Oh,
Or
it was
it
first, by
yeah,
the way.
it was- yeah,
by the
then they
way,
changed
they
that
changed
because
the
they
name.
didn't
The
like how
first
that
name-
sounded, yeah.
Yeah, the first name was the Municipal Redevelopment Agency. By the way, someone in our office said that very thing. Aren't they gonna change this name? It sounds like murder. And, they did. It's run by a young man, he's very good, David Corus. And what they're doing, they have they have a pot of money, $61 million this year from the state. And this is just background, I'm not advocating this. And what it's about is, it's supposed to be about a TOD. It's supposed to be about helping towns who have a bus station or a rail station, to develop, if they wish, housing. And what David's group will do is provide to that town, if the town agrees, only if the town is interested, staff and consultants and grants for that study. And my sense is, you don't really, this
Yeah.
is an industrial area. The best I can see down there is, it's a commercial and industrial area, and
When
it
there was
doesn't.
going to be a train station,
Yeah, it
there
made
was-
sense, right.
at least an argument for a residential component
Because there was gonna be
at the
people.
rail.
Yeah,
I-
and
you-
now there's not. So this is a
Not
comment
unless
where,
FedEx is delivering people.
yeah, I think this agency and David's efforts may be good, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure they apply here.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have a TOD district
Yeah,
anymore.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe,
All right.
maybe a project, we don't even have enough bus routes. We have bus, we
All
have
right.
some
We
bus,
have some bus routes in Orange.
yeah.
Do we have any further comment then on the pending draft POCD for 2025?
From the public as well?
And that
This is
was
the
gonna be
last-
my next question. Public, anything? Okay. All right, then I would suggest that we close the public hearing and then look to approve the plan at our next meeting, subject to all these changes being
We would
made
make
to
all
our,
the changes.
being made to our satisfaction.
Yeah.
And Frank, you mentioned something about a resolution, that you would draft up a
Yeah, we
resolution.
can draft the
pursuant to
resolution to
which we
send
would-
to Jack, and that way you would have, I always like it when you adopt something, you have it in front of you. We'll provide you the change pages to make sure we got everything right. And then you will change the date of this to your next meeting and call it we call it the adopted on.
Right.
And it's when you adopt, I think your next meeting is October 7th.
Looking right now.
That's it.
That's correct.
So
October
what we
7th.
would do is make the changes, in the next week,
Yeah.
and get you the change pages. Make sure everything's okay, Jack's okay and everything. Once that's okay, because these things cost a little bit of money to print.
Yeah,
We would then print it with the new date and so on, and you'd have some extra hard copies for the library, the town clerk, yourselves, and you'd have a resolution. So all you would be all set, because you've done the discussion, you've heard from the public. So that meeting could literally be a resolution,
Yeah.
And then motion to adopt.
all right. Sounds good. So then, someone prepared to make a motion that we close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Right.
so that's the game plan. Next, we'll look to
Yeah, the
approve
7th.
the plan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much for
yeah.
your
Thanks,
work
guys.
on this.
Okay, great, yeah.
Yeah, it went very, very well.
No, I
We
think
stuck to our
I think it did.
game plan.
I was praying that
All right,
Stu
then.
Leonard's would never file an application, so,
We've done it before, we'll do it again.
yeah.
All right, that wraps up our agenda. We have a motion,
Move to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
A second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, very good. Thank you very much.
Paul.